I had Bobby on, and he walked me through the the legal aspects behind the science. And by the end of the show, I thought two things. Wow, I had no idea how much control the pharmaceutical industry was in these things, and how there's none of these safeguards, and the Vaccine Act from '86. And then I thought, wow, this guy's a really intelligent, credible guy. And so I knew early on that he was nothing like what people said. And then he was basically boxed out of the media for a long time. Then the anti-vaxxer narrative. And then when I heard he was running for president, I was so happy, because now, because of that, people actually are starting to get to know him. And man, when he speaks, I'm telling you, when he speaks, I've never heard a politician like him in my era. I wasn't around when his dad was speaking, but it's like, you can tell this guy, he really wants the best for Americans. They try to goad him into attacking his opponents, and he says, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing that age-old game you want me to play in the media. I'm here to unite everybody. And I don't know, it's amazing. I'm so impressed, and it's almost like I have a little hope left in leaders. Right.
I feel the same way about this candidacy. He said something to me very early on that I think is very important. He said, I am not anti-vax. I'm anti-big pharma. And he's right. And somebody should be anti-big pharma. We haven't talked about Joe Manchin, the Democratic senator from West Virginia. Joe Manchin's daughter is the CEO of a major pharmaceutical company here in the United States. It's a company that manufactures something called the EpiPen, right? I have a shellfish allergy. I have to carry an EpiPen. All my life, an EpiPen has cost me $1, right? It'll save my life if I need it. $1. When she became the CEO, she said, wow, this EpiPen could be really profitable for us. So now, when I go to get an EpiPen with my prescription, it's $600. So rather than getting one every year, I keep it for 3 years, even though it's expired, because I can't afford to shell out $600 for one EpiPen. Well, another thing that she did was, her company's based in West Virginia. She enrolled in a PhD program at the University of Pittsburgh. And I follow news from the University of Pittsburgh because my dad got his PhD there, and my sister got her degree there, and my son had gotten into, one of my sons got into the University of Pittsburgh, and I'm from Pittsburgh. So she enrolled in this PhD program, and she just never went. She just never went to class. She never wrote a thesis. And so she wrote an email to the dean saying, hey, I never went to class, and I didn't write a thesis, but I'm the CEO of this big pharmaceutical company, and I want to make a giant donation, and I want you to give me the PhD. And they said, okay, we'll give you the PhD, but we want this big donation. Well, somebody somewhere at the University of Pittsburgh saw these emails and said, what? This is nuts. I'm going to leak this to the media. And they did. There was a whistleblower who's never been made public. And then the university had to say, well, yeah, we told her we'd give her the PhD because she's rich and she's charging, $600 for the EpiPen, so she has a lot of money. This is exactly the kind of thing that Bobby Kennedy is fighting against. This is exactly the kind of thing that happens every single day in America with medications that are pennies or dollars overseas that Americans are being robbed to pay for. Why are we being robbed? Why do we not fight back against Big Pharma? Well, the only person who's even talking about Big Pharma is Bob Kennedy. And I think that this should be one of the preeminent political issues in the 2024 race. Thank goodness that for him it is.
So gameplay this out. What happens and what could happen?
There was a piece in Politico yesterday that said, for whatever reason, the Kennedy campaign's falling apart in New Hampshire. And many of us had real hopes that he could get 30%, 35% in New Hampshire and scare the pants off of Joe Biden. It looks like that's not going to happen. Now, he may sweep to victory in Massachusetts, but one of the reasons why we had hope in New Hampshire was Joe Biden, being the head of the Democratic Party as an incumbent president, elected to take the first in the nation primary status away from New Hampshire and give it to South Carolina, right, which is a far blacker state than New Hampshire is. Well, that's all fine and good, but New Hampshire has an actual law on the books that says they have to be, by 1 week, they have to be the first state. So they're going to have their primary, and Joe Biden's not going to participate in it. He's not going to be on the ballot. That ought to give us let me rephrase. That ought to give us cause to celebrate, because Bob Kennedy's going to be on the ballot and Joe Biden's not. But Politico reported yesterday that Joe Biden still gets 60% as a write-in, and Bob Kennedy is only at 15%. So I'm very worried about New Hampshire. I think he's going to be a beast in Massachusetts and in California, but California's primary isn't until June.
Right.
Can he make it from February to June?
Yeah.
I don't think he can, because I think the money's going to dry up. I hate to say this, man. I really do, but I think that we're going to see a geriatric campaign between an 82-year-old confused Joe Biden and a 78-year-old confused and probably indicted Donald Trump. And I think, frankly, that Donald Trump is the only person that Joe Biden can beat. The only one. Just like Hillary Clinton was the only person that Donald Trump could beat. I think it's going to be just awful. I wouldn't be surprised if we see record low turnout. I think
you think Biden could beat anyone else but Trump? Or he couldn't beat anyone?
No. I think that any other Republican in America beats Biden.
Oh, because they're not hated.
Mm-hmm.
Trump doesn't look confused to me. Trump actually looks more grounded and resilient than I've seen him in a while. At least he did a couple months ago when he started talking. You see something I don't? I don't know. I didn't.
Well, maybe I misused the word confused in this context. Confused to me in that he easily moves into tangents in which he just attacks people that these tangents don't win him any votes or any support at all.
Right.
Like the name calling thing was fun for a little while, low energy jab and Marco Rubio standing in a puddle of his own piss. We all got a good laugh out of that stuff. That was fun. It was fresh and it was new in politics. And now people are just tired of it. I wrote this op-ed a year ago that my editor entitled, "Don't Charge Donald Trump with Espionage." And the subtitle was, "And don't charge anyone else." Because both the Democrats and the Republicans have used the Espionage Act as a cudgel to destroy their enemies, whether they are Donald Trump as a formidable political candidate or whistleblowers who embarrass the likes of the CIA and the FBI and the White House. But I'm afraid for Donald Trump that at 38 felony charges and counting, they're going to get him on something, and it's going to take him out. And that's not what the electoral system's all about. Like, what's happened to us as a country? That this is how we address each other. This is how we engage each other politically, to ruin each other permanently, to send each other off to die in prison. Where's Gerald Ford when you need him to offer a pardon? My God, for the good. Listen, I hate Donald Trump. I think he was a terrible president. But the very first thing that I would do would be to pardon him and get this behind us and move on and rebuild our country and rebuild the bipartisan system that we once had. I mean, absent that, we really desperately need viable third and fourth and fifth parties. We really do. And I don't mean Joe Manchin and Joe Lieberman creating yet another right of center party. I mean real political parties.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.